Hello, everybody. Hello, this is Dave from Intimacy Fest, and I'm going to answer some questions today for any folks that are wondering about me. Personally, I'm going to do something I enjoy, which is talk about myself. And for the folks in New Zealand who are wondering. So, thanks for being curious. I will say that these questions were brainstormed by Ellie and Jill, and I'm looking forward to answering them. Okay, here we go. First question. What is your background? Have you got a degree in this? Are you qualified to do this? This is a great question. I will also say that a lot of these questions are kind of like that. They're kind of like, who is this guy? What's this deal? And I think those are really important questions to ask. I don't think we should be trusting random charismatic leaders that fly to New Zealand from the United States. I think that's yeah. So anyways, thanks for asking this. Okay, so my background, I was in my 20s. I was a officer in the U.S. Navy, and when I got out of that, I was about 27. I'm 41 now, and I started leading different types of workshops and events, primarily in the space of connection, intimacy, communication, relationships. I just found that I've always loved people, and if I could facilitate something that would help people, get to know each other better or in a deeper way, that really excited me. So I would go to a lot of those workshops, and then I would think to myself, I feel like I could do that a little better. And then I would host some things. And so I've been doing it for about 15 years. Yeah, it's just been great. So have I got a degree in this? No, I don't have a degree in this. Am I qualified to do this? I would say that there's not really a governing body that qualifies people to do this. Maybe there should be. That's probably not a bad thing, but it's mostly through experience. I'd say at this point, I've led maybe 500 or 600 different workshops, retreats. I've on occasion been hired by like a small company, to come in and do some facilitation for some of their company retreats and put on retreats, conferences, that kind of thing. Okay, how old are you? Well, I already said that. I'm 41. Will I have to touch people at Intimacy Fest? This is a great question. And the next question is, will I have to take my clothes off? Which I think is kind of related, because it's really important, I think, to understand about this particular event, that there isn't an agenda to get people to open up. So like, there's a subtle difference. It's a festival about exploring relationships and exploring depth and exploring vulnerability and all that stuff. And yet, at the same time, it's not about pushing people to get there, and it's not even about expecting them to be there. Because I think these are really good questions, because a lot of people experience that, and I've experienced that in different retreats and workshops and things, where it's clear that there's kind of an agenda. There's a way to do this right. There's no way to do Intimacy Fest right. If you were the most touchy or open or vulnerable person, you may be celebrated for that. But from where I'm coming from as a facilitator, any sort of pressure in that direction actually doesn't even help if there was a goal of having people be more open and vulnerable. I think pressure makes that worse. So from my perspective, what I'm going to hold as a facilitator is that wherever you're at is great, and you don't have to do anything. And as some of my friends say, when you don't have to do anything, then you get to do things. You don't have to come from the have to. You can come from the get to. All right. Will I have to have sex with people? And is intimacy about sex? This is also a really great question. So we've done Intimacy Fest 5 years. The first couple years we experimented with having it be a space where there is like a tent that's, hey, you can have sex in this tent if you want, and it's, sexy or whatever. And one year we had a play party facilitated by someone who is a close friend of mine, who is, someone who has basically written the book on play parties and has done that in an incredibly ethical way for about 20 years. So it was a great event. And we decided on year 3 that it was actually kind of a distraction. For some people, it was like, yeah, no problem. There's sexuality in the space, but that's not really the work that we're doing. I think what we're doing is really more about the heart space. And it doesn't mean we want to have a sexually repressive culture there. So sexuality is welcome, but it's not something that we're going to try to infuse or bring more of. I think in a retreat space, sexuality and attraction and that kind of thing is kind of already in the space too. So we felt like adding more of it was actually going to make our goal of people connecting in a deep way a little harder. So the answer is no. You definitely won't have to have sex with anybody, but it's also important to say that for us, intimacy means a closeness, and it's not about sexuality. So none of the exercises will involve intentional sexual energy, or will be like intentionally ramping up eroticism or that kind of stuff. If I sign up for this, am I joining a cult? This is also a great question. There's so much to say on cult dynamics and groups and communities and this kind of thing. The answer is no. Of course, I would probably say that even if I was trying to have you join a cult. But I will say a few things that we do to be sort of cult aware. I think the main thing that I would want to share is that we being me, myself, Ellie, and Jill, are really have conversations and are doing our best to be very aware of power dynamics. And I think that starts with acknowledging and understanding the responsibility that we have and the power that we have, and not in a way to try to inflate ourselves or make ourselves seem more influential than we are. But like, the truth is, when you lead a retreat like this, you have a lot of power and influence over people. And I think what I've seen, and I have watched a lot of people misuse their power in these spaces, and it always kind of starts with diminishing their, like, they say, oh, I'm just like everybody else. I'm not, what do you mean power? Oh, what, I'm not, oh, and it kind of is this thing where it usually starts with like just not holding the responsibility of that position in a clean way, or in a way that acknowledges the magnitude of it. So I will say that, like, I take the job of leading a group like this and leading people through some very vulnerable and big feelings at times, working with things like the sense of belonging, the community, the friendships that might come out of this, the love, the affection, the different things that will probably inevitably come out of this space for people. Like, I take that really seriously, because I understand that it makes people more open to manipulation. And so, like I said, there's a lot to say about cult dynamics and high demand groups. But I will say that it's the fundamentals of this is that you don't have to do anything. There's no agenda to get you anywhere. I'm going to do my best to push back against any notion that you're failing if you are not X, Y, Z, or open in this way or whatever. And I'm going to hold the responsibility of the role of the leader or the facilitator with the respect it deserves. Can I come with my partner? Yeah, absolutely. You can come with friends, partners, whoever you'd like, family members. It's not a dedicated event for couples, and I think there'll probably be some couples, there'll be some singles, and it's also like monogamous couples are also welcome. Another question is sort of like, does this festival promote polyamory, or is it about that? And it's not. Although there's probably people there who practice that. That's something I've been doing for a little while, so I tend to kind of attract people in those styles, but it's not about that, and it's not promoting that or thinking that that's better than monogamy. I don't personally think it's better or more evolved. And so yeah, you can come with your partner. You're also welcome to work with your partner during the exercises if that feels good. There won't be any pressure to individuate if you don't want to. So it's this, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's all the questions. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I'm going to put my email maybe in this text somewhere, but it's Dave Buddha, DAVEBOODA @gmail.com. And one of the things I've been doing that I've just been so enjoying is just getting on the phone with anybody that is either thinking about signing up or has already signed up, and it just helps me kind of get to know them, and that helps me be a better facilitator and host. So if you'd like to do that, also email me and we can set up a time to talk. And big thank you to Ellie and Jill, who have just been wonderful to work with. I will close by saying I am honored and excited and just thrilled to be able to get to come to New Zealand for the first time. I've never been to New Zealand. I've been to Australia, I've been to a lot of different countries, but never New Zealand, and meet the people there. So far everybody's just been wonderful. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.